Welcome, dear friends. This is your weekly horoscope for October from the 7th through the 13th. As you can see, I have a new way of presenting the weekly horoscope. I really hope that it would work for you and it will be kind of more engaging and helpful after that. So this week, of course, we have a couple of important events. The most important one is the full moon. The full moon in Aries-Libra, but that's on Sunday. So basically that's the last thing we are gonna discuss. And I will put also timestamps. So if you're interested in a particular day prediction or you wanna listen just about the full moon, you will find the links below the video. Also, Venus is having an ingression this week in Scorpio, and after that has an opposition with Uranus, so we really need to pay attention to it. The Sun has a sextile with Jupiter, one of the really beneficial aspects, especially for growth, for expansion, for learning new things. Mercury has an opposition with Uranus and the Sun squares Saturn. So these are kind of, the key events of this week. But now we are gonna go through each of the day and I will help you to prepare and be more harmonized with the energies during each day. Of course, we are starting with Monday, the 7th of October. The most important aspects, Mercury in opposition with Uranus and the Sun squaring Saturn. So yes, both of those aspects are challenging actually, especially the Sun squaring Saturn. This is an aspect which may require from us to work harder on something, to be really focused, to be really patient. There might be some kind of restrictions we need to handle with or we need to overcome. So it won't be just, we are just staying and preparing for wonderful things to happen and, boom, they are here. When Saturn is squaring the Sun, it requires hard work. So on Monday, we need to be prepared for this. More patience, hard work, also doing the right thing, not letting yourself fall into the trap of, maybe doing something which is not completely aligned with your own values. No, you have to do it the right way. And also, this is a time when we might feel some doubts in ourselves or with what we can achieve. So definitely there can be some kind of frustration. The positive side of this frustration is that this is always an opportunity to grow and to achieve more. When you are not fulfilled with who you are, with what you have, basically that pushes you, that motivates you to move forward, to do something more, to work even harder. So use this, even if it feels uncomfortable, use it wisely and you may achieve even more than other people. On the other side, Mercury in opposition with Uranus can bring some kind of surprises. Something unexpected, something unplanned, something which pushes you to think outside of the box. So you really need to find those untypical solutions or something which is not so, conservative, not so popular in some ways, but it's kind of, different, it's kind of strange. So the original approach is what can help you here. At the same time, plans may go in different directions, not as we have, prepared them to be. So keep that in mind when you are planning something, meetings, traveling, or, any other negotiation with people. There might be some surprises. Overall, this is not the best time for negotiations. People may respond quite harshly, and it's really difficult actually to predict the outcome. What else do we have? So The sun squaring Saturn also can make it more challenging for us to handle with some kind of business tasks, or, for example, government issues, or, working with some institutions. Things might be quite slow, quite challenging. So just be aware of that. The moon in Aquarius on Monday can actually bring lightness to the overall atmosphere, can help us to be even more original in our approach. Basically, the Aquarius moon increases the importance of the Uranus Mercury opposition. We have a very powerful Aquarius Uranus energy on Monday. So definitely time to think outside of the box, to be original. At the same time, social projects might be very important, doing something with other people or for other people, or asking for advices or asking for support, or just being more open with others when you communicate. That's what can help you on Monday. On Tuesday, Venus ingress Scorpio. So of course, that's a big one. Venus in Scorpio is not in a harmonious position. We know that Venus is ruling the opposite sign, Taurus. So not a very comfortable position. And the way it can manifest is through some extremely intense emotions. When Venus is in a weak position, actually the emotions can be extremely intense, so intense that we cannot really control them. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that people may tend to dramatize more than necessary. That's also one of the favorite things of Venus in Scorpio. And overall, people need a deeper connection, especially, of course, in terms of personal relationships. So you really need to show them that you appreciate them, that they are important. And at the same time, there might be a too strong attachment between people. Venus in Scorpio sometimes may bring also some jealousy, or, too intense emotions. So be aware of that as well. On the positive note, Venus in Scorpio is very good for handling with some kind of financial stuff. Those can be some kind of investments or some kind of, other financial decisions. So that area actually is supported by Venus in Scorpio. In terms of the personal relationships, well, we have to be aware of the other stuff, the drama, the too intense emotions, which are challenging to control, and, which can also can keep us too long in certain situation. It's not that easy to move forward, to just, forget about something, even if that was kind of difficult. Venus in Scorpio remembers the disappointments and the challenges longer than necessary. But the positive thing for Tuesday is that the moon in Aquarius can lighten up a little bit the situation. So even if Venus in Scorpio brings this tendency for drama, the moon in Aquarius actually wants kind of the opposite: lightness, positivity, optimism, easy socializing with other people. So we have an interesting mixture here, and probably some people will feel more aligned to the Scorpio energy, especially if that's something you have in your chart, and others will feel more aligned with the Aquarius energy, more the freedom, the excitement, the desire to keep some healthy boundaries. And those two types of energies might be kind of confronting, or may require some kind of balance between the different people. So it's definitely an interesting combination. October the 9th, Wednesday. So we have three aspects. The sun has a quincunx with Neptune on Wednesday. So that's an aspect which at first may bring some kind of messy situations, some kind of confusion, or something which is, not so easy to plan. So we have to be creative, we have to go with the flow, we have to be more intuitive. And the thing about the quincunx is that after the first challenge goes away, then comes the positive part. So eventually we may really do something creative, we may get inspired, we may help other people, we may support others, we may enjoy taking care of someone. So creativity can bring positive results, but after we put some work into it. Venus also has a connection with Neptune, square and a half. This is a minor challenging aspect. So what it means is that there can be some kind of emotional confusion. In relationships, people may not be able to understand each other very well, or might be misleading each other. So you may find yourself, well, facing a truth which is kind of painful sometimes. You know, when Venus has this connection with Neptune, usually there is some kind of emotional disappointment. But on the other side, you may also be very creative, you might be dreaming a lot, you might be inspired. So especially creative people may actually benefit from those aspects, but if they work for those things, you know, for the results that they want to achieve. So in relationships, yes, it's not that easy. You know, Venus is in Scorpio, so there is some kind of drama with this Neptune connection. It's not so easy to be objective, to see things clearly in terms of our relationships. But, you know, after that, if we realize the truth, it's always liberating for us, actually. And Mercury has a quintile with Pluto on Wednesday. So this is an aspect which can bring some kind of change, some kind of surprise, especially when it comes to planning, when it comes to our negotiations or communication with other people, or of course other things like traveling. Basically all of the Mercury stuff, they may go through some kind of change. And this Pluto connection can help us to dive deeper into something, to be more concentrated on certain tasks, to be very passionate about certain idea and, you know, dig deeper and spend lots of time maybe planning, maybe analyzing, maybe exploring certain options. So basically that's kind of the most exciting aspect on Wednesday. The Sun with Neptune can also bring us positives, of course. And the moon will be in Aquarius during the morning. So things are kind of more positive, you know, for socialization, for communication, and, you know, teamwork as well. After 11 a.m. Eastern time, the moon ingresses Pisces. So the energy becomes even more Neptune oriented. So that's too much Neptune, to be honest. And we may find ourselves dreaming more than doing, than acting. And for spiritual work, that would be great. For meditations and so on, that's also wonderful. For practical things, not so much. So be aware of that. Even the physical energy is not that much when the moon is in Pisces. So try not to schedule some tasks that require, you know, very present mind, very analytical approach. Usually it's not the best time. October the 10th, Thursday, only one aspect, Venus having quintile with Saturn. So relationships can be interesting. There might be some kind of changes in our personal relationships, also the business relationships. This is a nice aspect also for having this, you know, accurate evaluation, accurate judgment. That's one of the best things about Venus and Saturn, that it helps you to be very objective when you evaluate something, to be very reasonable. And of course, Saturn is very strong here. Saturn is in Capricorn. So Saturn can help Venus also in controlling more those intense emotions. So we have to be more reasonable because of those energies. However, the moon in Pisces also brings this water energy. The moon will join Neptune, by the way, on Thursday as well. So there can be lots of creativity, lots of inspiration, but it's challenging to be present. It's kind of, more difficult for us to concentrate on activities which require strength, which require more physical energy. So just keep that in mind. But as we said, for creativity, this is great. For artists, for people who need inspiration, no matter what their work is, this can also help a lot. And with the Venus-Saturn connection, one thing to keep in mind as well is in regards to relationships, people may need more stability. People need kind of reassurance that you really stand for them, that you really appreciate them, that they can rely on you. And I would say not only in personal relationships, I think that even in business area, in the work environment, people will have the same needs as well, to feel appreciated, to feel that they are really valuable for you. Because after all, here Saturn is in Capricorn, the business area. Venus in Scorpio, on the other side here, can help us to do something meaningful in terms of financial decisions, especially financial business decisions. This can be great. Just keep in mind the moon and the Pisces Neptune energy here. So you really need to be sure of your decisions, and keep in mind that the intuition can guide you. That's kind of a strength that we can rely on Thursday. The 11th of October, Friday, so we have only one shift during this day, the moon. So until noontime, the moon is in Pisces, so the energy is kind of more messy. We can be all over the place, not that concentrated, not that focused. Yes, for creative stuff, that would be positive, but not for things that require this, harsh approach or to be really concentrated. However, around noon, that situation changes after the moon will ingress Aries, because that's kind of completely opposite energy. This would be great if you want to start something new, if you need more strength. The vitality generally increases, the physical energy that we have access to is also more available to us. And actually, that's great for no matter what you want to do, business, sports, doing something on your own, starting something brand new. This Aries moon really helps us to take fast decisions and move forward. The challenge of the Aries moon can be more impatience, sometimes possible confrontations. People are not so sensitive, people are not so willing to negotiate sometimes, but everything has ups and downs, and we should not forget about this. The 12th of October, Saturday, we have this interesting, exciting, but also challenging opposition between Venus and Uranus. So in relationships, prepare for surprises, prepare for something new, something different. It could be shocking sometimes, it could be stressful sometimes, and basically we need to be very flexible. We need to be flexible to adapt to the changes. Honestly, this may not be that easy because this opposition is in fixed signs. Venus in Scorpio, Uranus in Taurus. So even though we have to make changes, we may not be that flexible. But if you are searching for this change, for example, in a relationship or in the, in your personal life, you really need something to push you, you need something to excite you, you need this change, even if it feels, unknown and uncomfortable for a while. Well, this aspect can definitely bring you this type of, excitement when, you have the butterflies in your stomach and you don't know where all of that is going to end. And it's new, it's new, it's exciting, it's bringing you variety. If you are someone who really prefers stability and, to know where all of things are going to, kind of being more in control, well, in those cases you might experience more discomfort during this aspect, during Saturday basically. So I would recommend you to just explore different options, be open, believe that everything happens for your own good, and basically it will happen this way exactly. And there are also other aspects which we need to discuss, which are related to this opposition. So pay attention. Mars has a quincunx with Uranus, and Venus also has a semi-square with Jupiter. So those are two different aspects which bring other type of energy. So Mars with Uranus can bring a stronger desire to take new actions, to experiment, to try brand new things, to, be outside of the routine stuff. So it's positive, especially for sports. With this Aries moon on Saturday, we can definitely enjoy some sports activities, for example, or doing something different, or experimenting a little bit. The Venus Jupiter aspect, this is an aspect which may push you to reconsider your values. Venus represents our personal values, Jupiter represents the social values. And somehow we may find that there is a misalignment here. So we need to find out our own values. We need to find what is important to us. So, for example, you may want to do something and other people may want to do something else, and now you have to choose, and it's either neglecting your desires or their desires. So that's kind of an example, of a more practical, situation of that kind. Also, Venus with Jupiter may help you to change something about your desires or to reconsider them in some way. In relationships, there may also be some kind of frustration with certain situation. Again, for example, you may want to do something, your partner wants to do something else. For example, you want to go see the movies, socialize with people. For example, your partner wants to stay at home and read a book. So sometimes we know those things happen. That's not a really stressful aspect. Keep in mind, Venus and Jupiter, they are always, bringing the opportunity to have something positive. So not an aspect to really stress about. Venus, Uranus, that's the aspect which can bring the potential strength. But as we know, everything can end up well as long as we are open for those changes. And with Mars and Uranus, we also need to take a different action, something new, something we haven't done before. The 13th of October, Sunday, is when we have the full moon. We also have the Sun with Jupiter in a positive aspect, and Venus has a semi-sextile with Mars. So first, the Sun and Jupiter. Actually, this is such a nice combination for growing, for learning, for expanding, for setting up some new goals, feeling inspired by them, feeling motivated. Very nice combination. I really like this one. The Venus-Mars semi-sextile can also bring more desire to take action and also to do something about the things that we want. In relationships, also this aspect can be quite harmonizing and, helping a little bit men and women to understand each other better. Now, about the full moon, actually, let me show you. So this is the chart of the full moon. On the 13th of October, what is this? Around 5 p.m. Eastern time is the exact time when we have the full moon. A little bit before that, actually. Anyway, so the sun is in Libra and the moon is in Aries, as we know. At the same time, guys, pay attention, Saturn and Pluto are squaring the sun and the moon. So basically, we have a very powerful town square in cardinal signs. So first of all, it means that the cardinal signs can feel the full moon stronger. Just to remind you that those are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, but also Cancer. So those are the signs, which can really feel this full moon quite intensely. And overall, the support here comes from Jupiter, by the way. So Saturn and Pluto are challenging, are bringing challenges, but Jupiter brings the support. Now, overall, this full moon in Libra and Aries requires from us to find the balance in relationships, how we communicate with other people. Are we paying attention to the other person's needs without neglecting our own needs? And the need to make compromises, the need to, at the same time, feel connected to yourself. These are some of the major questions that we can ask ourselves, actually. And also, the full moon is a great time to materialize something in your life. Specifically, the position of the moon may show you where, in which area actually you can materialize something, you can achieve something. But also, this is a great time to let go of something you just don't need. It could be a habit, it could be a behavior, it could be a thought, it can even be a relationship actually, or a project or idea or some kind of goal, something that is not working, so just let it go. And yes, in this time we can definitely talk about also setting free from relationships that are not working, or other connections. The Libra Aries axis, this is the axis related to relationships. So this is one of the most important areas actually for the next couple of weeks. And Saturn and Pluto triggering the full moon, they bring a higher necessity also to be practical, to be reasonable, to be patient, especially because Saturn is squaring the full moon. At the same time, Pluto brings more intensity, so we may strongly, even desperately want to do something. And Pluto brings this type of focused, extreme, sometimes even obsessive energy. But as we usually talk about this, we discuss this situation, we know that even those obsessions, those, extreme focuses, they can actually bring great results. That's, what real motivation is actually. And Jupiter here, Jupiter, our best friend, which helps us to look at things from a different perspective, to open our minds, to take wiser decisions, maybe even to receive support from somewhere else. Jupiter likes to work in this way, to send you people who can help you as well. So open up to receive this energy. And we may kind of hesitate or move back and forth between the optimism and the pessimism, because, you know, Saturn and Jupiter, they are equally strong here, and they are both triggering the full moon. Saturn in a challenging way, Jupiter in a positive way. So being skeptical, being pessimistic will probably not bring you the needed and the wanted results. Jupiter can bring you those results, and it means to be more positive, to be more optimistic, to be more open-minded. That's what you need to do. Maybe to, you know, explore different options. And what else do we have? Yeah, these are actually the only aspects. So Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, those are the planets triggering the full moon. Now, let's look quickly how each of the signs, basically in which houses you guys can be triggered or where you can make the change. So the first here, the first house, which the first number shows the house position of the moon. The second number, the second house, is where the sun is in your chart. So make sure to check your sun and ascendant sign, by the way. And keep in mind that here, the first number, the first house in this combination shows the area where you can materialize something, where you can achieve something, where you can make a change. And seventh house is the other house, which needs more balance. So basically, the full moons, they always activate two houses which are in opposition, and we always need to balance them. So for Aries and Libra both, the area of relationships, that's where you need, guys, to concentrate. That's what you need to work on. Aries may need to work more on themselves, on their actions and their behavior. Libra may need to work more on their relationships and, you know, the needs of their partner or the other important person in their life. For Taurus and Scorpio, the full moon activates 12th and 6th house. So finding balance between work and rest, between your obligations in the material world and the time that you can spend maybe relaxing or doing something spiritual if you are interested in those things. So finding the balance here. Also health. Health is the area where you need to find balance. And Taurus need to work more on the time they have for themselves, you know, this healthy isolation, and to work more with, you know, the subconscious mind probably. Scorpio need to work more with their daily routines, with their habits, with their obligations in the material world. Basically, that's where you can make the shift. Gemini and Sagittarius, for you guys, the full moon triggers 11th and 5th house, the axis which describes our heart and our mind. Also romantic life and social life and our own desires and the desires of the group or the community. Gemini may need to concentrate or change something in regards to the group, the community, the social needs and requirements. Sagittarius, the opposite. Change or materialize something in the area of their personal life, their own desires, their romantic life, their own creativity. Cancer and Capricorn. The activated houses are 10th and 4th house, basically very important position. Those are the cardinal houses. So you guys need to balance the social area, your career, and your family, your personal life, your personal needs as well. And Cancer need to concentrate more on their career, on their social projects, their social realization, to make the change there or to materialize something there. And Capricorn, the opposite. The personal stuff, the home, the family, that's where you can make the shift or you can materialize something. So in my case, it's quite interesting. My sun is in Capricorn, my ascendant is in Cancer, so I need to work on both of those, you know, both 10th and 4th house. And you can also check for yourself, of course. Leo and Aquarius for you guys, 9th and 3rd house. The axis of education related to our goals, related to our mind, related to traveling. Leo needs to concentrate more on their long-term goals, their perspective about the future, their philosophical way of thinking. And on the other side, Aquarius need to concentrate more on the practical side, the more the visible world, you know, in a way, to be more practical, to be more present as well. Virgo and Pisces, you guys need to concentrate on the area of resources and health as well, and money. So how much do you take and how much do you give? This is one of the most important things in life, especially when it comes to health, by the way, and balancing your own energy. Virgo needs to concentrate more on the exchange of energy, or what you can change about it. You know, maybe, you know, you need to allow more energy to come or more energy to go. And, you know, sometimes the connection with the mutual resources with other people can also be important. And on the other side, Pisces need to concentrate more on their own energy, strengthening their own energy, or changing something to reconnect more to their own resources, their own financial situation, and other material stuff as well. So in short, that was the weekly horoscope. Thank you very much, guys. Please let me know, do you like those type of presentations? Are they more helpful for you? Remember, you can always come back during the week and watch the specific daily horoscope and just, you know, realign with the proper energies. So it was a real pleasure for me. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you really soon.